Good afternoon. My name is Diane Trout, and I am here to talk to you about the future of learning. The future of learning is bright, and if we utilize all of the resources we have, then we have a bright future with our students. There's 5 roles that are needed, and the first one is assessment designer. The assessment designer develops tools for evaluating, helps learners with the learning experience, removes barriers to innovation by creating performance-based assessment, diverse techniques and strategy, and they enable learning opportunities. I have here Sandra, who's going to speak for just a moment about her role.
As an assessment designer, I develop approaches and tools to evaluate and communicate learner performance across different settings in a way that is transparent and easy to understand. The assessment design and consulting firm where I work helps many kinds of organizations create portfolios of assessment methods. I work mostly in the informal education group, while some of my colleagues focus on formal learning environments for young people, while others focus on the workplace and continuing education groups. Right now, I'm working with a few clients that organize state and national youth challenges, designing an assessment system that would allow them to show what skills participants are learning as they compete. We're refining a digital system that allows the participants to earn badges as they go along.
So if we have students earning badges that the assessment designer created, students would really get excited about that, and I think it would be beneficial to the classroom. The next role is the community intelligence cartographer. The community intelligence cartographer builds maps and resource webs. They cultivate diverse relationships. They map diverse data streams. They visualize the educational ecosystem in your area and works with decision makers on how to strengthen community resilience and resolve learning inequities. I'm going to play a brief clip of Andrew Lee, and he will talk about his role.
Basically, cartographers make maps. As a community intelligence cartographer, I make interactive digital maps of the resources, people, and relationships that contribute to my community's learning commons. And by that, I mean it's shared learning assets. If you think of the region as a big learning ecosystem, I map all the learning assets, where learners can find them, and how they can take advantage of them.
So he has an important job of creating a map of who does what, how people learn. The next role is the eduvator. The eduvator contributes entrepreneurial activity to learning systems. They organize and coach teams. They stimulate experimentation, and they use launcheduvation.org to collaborate. I'm going to play a brief clip of Desmond Walker and his role as an eduvator.
I am an eduvator. That means that I organize and support innovation teams that develop new ideas, get them ready to launch, and hopefully bring them to scale. The teams use rapid prototyping and design processes to identify and implement both incremental and disruptive innovations that can help to improve learners' experiences and performance outcomes.
One of the things that he says at the end of this video is that his most important tool is failure. He blogs about what he fails at, and he encourages his colleagues to do the same. I think if students brought up their failures and were not ashamed of them, I think they would learn a lot more. I think that the eduvator is a very important role because they help get the project started, they help the funding, and they also encourage students. The next role is the learning fitness instructor, which is my favorite because the learning fitness instructor works with learners, families, and educators. They help learners develop cognitive muscles. They assess changes in cognitive readiness, works in diverse learning settings, and focuses on learners of all kinds. A learning fitness instructor is like a PE coach for the classroom. Here is Olivia Rollins, and she's
I'm a learning fitness instructor. That means that I work with learners, families, and learning agents to build and strengthen learners' cognitive, emotional, and social capacities. Now, when I walk into a learning environment or workshop, I tell the students, I'm Coach Rollins, and I'm here to get your brains in shape. I educate them about the brain, how it develops, how it works when it's thinking in different ways, or how it gets tired or distracted based on what you're doing. And I use a variety of techniques to help them reduce stress and develop their cognitive muscles.
I think a lot of students nowadays need help reducing stress and eliminating distractions. One thing she talks about later in the app is using mobile apps and augmented reality to enhance reducing the stress and reducing distractions. So the learning fitness instructor is a very important person, and I think students would really like having a learning fitness instructor. The next person is a learning journey mentor. They are the backbone of the learning system. They create personal education plans, help learners connect, they model, they work directly and remotely with students and parents and teachers, and they work with all other learning agents. This is the most important role, I believe, because they are the backbone, and they have to offer guidance and be present and encouraging. So this is Grace Zimmerman. I'm going to let her talk for just a moment.
Well, I'm a learning journey mentor. In the past, I would have called myself a teacher, but not now. It's kind of different. I feel like I guide the kids in learning through their learning experience. Really, I learn right along with them. They teach me. I focus on the STEM area, and that is just a set of concepts that span the STEM domain of different learners up to age about 13 or so. Just take, for instance, like climate change. That's a big concept. So I would relate that concept to bigger questions that really matter to people in the learning community. How maybe technology can help mitigate climate change. And then as we pursue those questions, we just kind of get all together and we really explore those answers. I just guide them through that, not really teach them through that. And
So she guides them. She doesn't just stand there and teach, but she guides them. That's what the mentor does. They guide, collaborate, and encourage students. They are the backbone of the learning system. Okay, next are disruptions that will shape learning. There's 5 of them that I found, and it is democratized startup, high fidelity living, deinstitutionalized production, customizable value adds, and shareable cities. If we embrace these in the future by 2025, we will be doing fantastic. If we don't, then it will be tough to have a functioning, well-developed classroom. So what does this all mean? This means that in the future, we will have extreme learners, we will have a social structured work, we will have embedded and embodied learning, and have a global learning arbitrage, and have new foundations. New foundations in 2025 that have exceptional learners, encouraging each other, collaborating with each other, working with each other, and just being a good learning system. I think teachers and students would both benefit from having learning roles. And this is my presentation on the future of learning. You may read more about the different things in my handout that I gave you. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask me, and I hope we can utilize these roles and implement them in the classroom. Thank you so much.